I'd like to thank the association and the board for bestowing this great honor upon me. It's very humbling to be inducted into a group of such great coaches. I'd also like to congratulate my fellow inductees tonight. When I first saw all the names, the one that drew my attention first was that of Coach Bailey. My last game as a head coach at Whiteford in 2009 was a playoff game against his reading team. It was a loss to a very good team and a very good coach. And hearing what I've heard tonight, he might have been better off if he'd have lost that game. I'd like to recognize members of my family that are here tonight. They've always been supportive and very inspiring to me. I'd like them to stand up as I call them. First, the love of my life, my wife, Kathy. We'll be married 43 years next month. My son Matt and his wife Denise, my son Mike, my daughter Laura, and my grandson Matt. Please all of you stand up at once. I also have 9 grandkids that are at home and 1 great-grandson who's going to be a great football player. He's 3 now. He's at home as well. I knew what I wanted to do with my life by the time I was in 8th grade, just much like many of these other coaches. I love sports, and some of my best role models were coaches at Whiteford. In particular, Mel Hartzell, Hal Shankin, and Ed Osnowitz taught me a lot about integrity, work ethic, and perseverance. I was lucky enough to spend 34 years coaching at the same school that I attended, and I will always consider it my home. I'd like to recognize the athletic director from Whiteford, Nate Gust, who is a former player and student of mine, for his part in my nomination to this great honor. One of the best results of this profession has been the friendships that I've established with other coaches, players, and parents. Many of the best people I know are coaches. Much of the credit that I have achieved over the years at Whiteford is a result of great assistant coaches, 90% of which were former players and students of mine. 3 of them are here tonight. First one, I'd like you guys to stand quickly, hold your applause until they're all up. I'd like to recognize them. First, my longtime assistant head coach, Dean Leonard. Also, Chuck Tabbert, and my son, Mike. Please stand, guys. I can put it over there. Thank you very much. They helped our team to 12 playoff appearances and a great tradition at Whiteford. After I retired from coaching at Whiteford, I took a year off, and as Jack mentioned, I was miserable the whole fall. In fact, my wife pushed me back into coaching again because I was making her miserable too. I was mercifully approached by Jeff Wood, the head coach at Bedford, who asked if I'd like to join his staff. I coached against his dad Lee's Summerfield teams and had known Jeff for years. He didn't have to twist my arm for me to say yes. I've been there for 3 years now and have enjoyed all 3 of them immensely. He has assembled a great coaching staff, and with the players they have created a great family atmosphere and tradition at Bedford High. Jeff is here tonight, and I know he's a big reason why I'm here tonight. Jeff, would you stand? Other fellow Bedford coaches that are here tonight with me include 2 Hall of Fame members, Dave Potter and Jeff's father, Lee Wood, and my good coaching buddy, Joe Moore. Thanks to all of you for being there and here for me, and your great friendship over the last few years. Would you three guys stand too, please? I'd also like to mention the great people that I work with on the board of directors at the Toledo chapter of the National Football Foundation. We gave out $20,000 in scholarships 2 weeks ago and honored 37 outstanding scholar athletes and 14 coaches from Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. It's been a great way for me to give something back to the game I love. At this point, I was going to thank Coach Hoke because he was a guest speaker at our banquet 2 weeks ago. But when Coach Hoke came down off the dais, I talked to him for a little bit and I said, Coach, you're going to see me in about 2 weeks. And he said, well, I'm going to have to change my speech for that. And I said, well, I found out tonight Coach Nessmeyer's here, so he didn't change speeches, he just changed speakers. Thank you for being there and your great words, Coach Nessmeyer. In conclusion, I'd like to accept this great honor in the memory of a football player at Bedford High. He was part of this year's 11-1 season. He died in an auto accident in the 9th week of the season. I learned a lot about family from his teammates and Coach Wood, who handled the devastating situation with grace and class. He was a great young man. His name was Colton Durbin, and at Bedford, we will never forget CD3. Thank you very much, everybody.